Kung Fu Panda seeks to the Furious 5, the brilliant 2008 spin-off show of Kung Fu Panda that gave us the brilliant meme,
You saved me. Why?
Monkey.
Now I remember watching this a lot as a kid because unpopular opinion coming, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Kung Fu Panda. I know, shoot me. I mean, I live in Britain, so I don't know how you would do that. Maybe get your hands on a musket, see how many lead balls you can hit me with till I die, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's a really good film, but it just can't come close to the sequel. I think I would need to make many videos on why that movie is such a f***ing animated masterpiece. But if I were to put them in a tier list, the original would come second, because the third isn't it, Chief? But I'm getting off topic. Here's what I'm actually meaning to say. Now, I don't know if this opinion is shared, but in my personal opinion, I think in all the Kung Fu Panda movies, especially 2 and 3, the Furious 5 were really underutilized. I mean, the first movie's kind of about all of them trying to defeat Tai Lung together, but that really takes a backseat to all the other elements of the movie. Then the sequel comes around and basically ditches all of the Furious 5, other than Tigress, who becomes the love interest / mentor. Like, they're still in the movie, but... And then, were they even in the third movie? I mean, obviously they were, but I couldn't tell you a single thing that they did in it. It also probably has something to do with the fact I don't like the third movie. My point being, you really didn't get to see much about them. It never truly went into their backstory, or for some of them, even their personality. Like, tell me one thing about Crane. You can't. So for those of you who wanted to know more about them, this collection is for you. It's also really well made and has a lot of good lessons in it. You should watch it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Also, I started a Twitter account just so you can get notified 10 minutes before I upload a video. Link is in the description. So the special starts off with Master Shifu tricking Po into teaching a school of little children learning Kung Fu. So Po decides to tell them about the backstories of the Furious 5. The backstories are all animated in this really nice style, and at the end of each respective story, there's a moral, kind of. Some stories have one moral, some have multiple, others have none. It's really a mixed bag. Another thing is that each story isn't the entire backstory for each Furious 5 member most of the time. Viper and Tigress both have stories that involve them as children and what happened in their lives, whilst Mantis, Crane and Monkey's stories are just turning points in their lives that changed who they were. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about before getting into the stories themselves is that the dialogue and the comedy in the special are really hit and miss. There are a few lines in this show that I did find funny, probably not for the right reasons. But other times they're just a bit cringy.
Not if I defeat you now with the awe-inspiring awesomeness of my poison fang technique.
Like, I know the context is that Po is telling these stories, so of course he's the one saying all this stuff. But still, it just tips it over the edge and just becomes a bit cringe. So the first story is about Mantis and his discovery of patience. The story goes that because of Mantis' super speed, the world around him moved very slow, so he was incredibly impatient. That impatience causes him to fall into a trap because he didn't listen to the sheep who warned him. And being trapped in that cage for so long, the world started moving faster than Mantis did, so Mantis finally discovered patience and was able to break out. And they all lived happily ever after the end. Now, to be fair, this story does give a good message, but I don't know, when was Mantis ever patient? Now, to be fair, the first movie does get a pass because this special obviously came out after it. This, weirdly enough, also then creates a bit of a plot hole in the first movie when Po says this.
I've got no claws, no wings, no venom.
This then contradicts Viper's story in this special, which states she never had fangs, so how could she have venom? But I'm getting ahead of myself. My point is, in the second and third movie, when has Mantis ever mentioned patience? When has he ever had patience? It doesn't make sense. The Viper's story just shows her growing up when she was born without fangs. Something she was very self-conscious about because her dad was a very famous snake known for his incredible fangs. But one day a bandit shows up wearing armor, which in turn breaks his fangs, leaving him defenseless. Viper then saves her dad by using the ribbon she uses for ribbon dancing to defeat the bandit, proving she doesn't need fangs to fight and only needs courage. Fucking hell, that was so cringy. See, there's another life lesson for all you kids in the back. I see you there. Have courage and shit. The next story is about Crane, who used to be a janitor at a Kung Fu training academy, but never tried to apply because he thought he was too skinny. But after being inspired by one of the students there, he found the courage he needed and was able to beat the test and apply for the school. And that's it. Yeah, Crane's story isn't really the best one. It's just really short, doesn't really show anything, and, you know, it's about Crane. The next story is about Tigress, and to be fair, it's pretty good. It shows Tigress in an orphanage who isn't wanted by anyone, not only because she's a tiger, but because she has immense physical strength that she has no idea how to control. She's confronted by Shifu, who teaches her how to control her strength and eventually adopts her. And that's it. It's a pretty good story, to be fair. And it also gives good insight into Tigress as a character. Distinct lack of moral, though, in this story. I guess they've just forgotten about them. So now we're on to the final story, and it's Monkey. How wonderful. So Monkey's backstory is that he was a troublemaker and used to wreak havoc across the village by stealing stuff and pulling pranks on the villagers. So the town decides to hire different people to get rid of Monkey, and when none of them work, they hired Oogway. Because I'm assuming now Oogway is doing mercenary work. And we're given a line that, in my opinion, is on par with
Monkey, you must leave.
Sure. If you beat me, I will go. If you don't, then it is you that must leave. Without your pants.
But Oogway wore no pants.
Long story short, Oogway saves him midway during their fight, which gives us the line,
You saved me. Why?
Oogway teaches him to be good. Boom. Monkey has learnt compassion. End of story. Oh, and they brought the morals back, I guess. I guess because fuck Tigress. At the end of the day, all this Kung Fu Panda talk makes me want another Kung Fu Panda movie. I love this series, even though 3 was fucking awful. And I know there are some TV shows, but just fucking look at them. I'm not asking for much. If they can make a movie that is half as good as 2, or even on par with 1, I will die a happy man and float away with peach leaves. So everyone, that's the end of today's video. I hope you did enjoy. As you lot probably know, my schedule when it comes to uploading videos has been really bad. So I decided to start a Twitter account like I mentioned in the first half of this video. If you go and follow it in the link in the description below, you'll get notified 10 minutes before a video is uploaded. So, you know, I'm not just surprising you out the blue. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.